Welcome to the Dusty Futon Remix final episode, where we will be remixing Season 1's episodes 15 and 16. I am Big John, your host of this wonderful adventure through the history of the Dusty Futon. And we continue on with this one episode where Tyler and I were trying to stay away from current events, but then we wanted to make sure that we didn't know what we were doing. So, current event at the time of this episode was Comic-Con. We were close to Comic-Con, and it was a big deal with Tyler being a huge fan of Star Wars and everything comic related. Kind of a nerd in that regard. And I am, to an extent, I am myself. And he actually went down to Comic-Con with little flyers to hand out and try to get more people to join up and sign up for the Dusty Futon. It's pretty awesome. He did a great job with that. So please make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play. We're also on YouTube, and now we'll be adding things to SoundCloud as well. Big John Entertainment's SoundCloud page. You can search Big John Entertainment, no H in John. And please leave comments if you like what you hear, or even if you don't like what you hear. Give us some feedback so we know what to do and make this better for you. And if you know of any musicians who need their own episode, Season 6 is coming out April 4th. We will have a new co-host and a bunch of new musicians, some known, some new, and it's going to be a blast. So if you are a musician and you want your own episode, email us, admin@dustyfuton.com, and we'll make sure to get you set up and do our best to get you your own episode. We will take care of you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and slide into Episode 15, Season 1 of the Dusty Futon.
Well, it's dirty and it's brown, it's a little undown, like I just got it out of and lost and found. Trying to test it, germ infested, stained by food, partially digested. Nobody can say what you find between the dirty couch gushers that have never been cleaned. Missing keys or American cheese, trapped to sit where the kiss will conceive. Pleasure to meet ya, we're happy to see ya. Dusty Futon.
Just you're gonna have to look down into it like this. Just
This has not been my week, man. July sucks for me.
oh man. So Big John's over here with a broken microphone stand, and it's failing on him. It's going flaccid, just to paint a picture for you. He needs to give it the blue pill.
And just so you know, this is one of those boom mics, so when it goes flaccid, it literally goes underneath me.
It doesn't look like it's booming very much right now. Looks like it needs a little blood flow. Anyway, that's enough dick jokes about the microphone.
Anyway, did you spend your 4th at the fair?
I did stop by the fair this weekend, yes.
Nice. I thought I heard a rumor that there was a Dusty Futon appearance at the fair.
Yep. I went back, and Kansas played on the 3rd, on Friday.
Right.
Yeah, my wayward son.
Carry on.
Yeah. So
that was like the worst Kansas joke ever.
Oh my god!
But everybody, you can tell everybody's laughing.
We got it. Everybody got it.
Everybody got it.
You know
And everyone's
what?
laughing.
Because that's the one song that everybody knows. They're one of those bands where you go and you watch them, and you start hearing their category, like their all of
catalog.
Their you start hearing their catalog of songs, and you're like, oh my god, that's them.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea, and they have 50 songs you've heard, and you had no idea.
Honestly, that's the Beatles for probably everybody who says I hate the Beatles. They're like, I didn't know that was a Beatles song.
Well, it's like they said in Pulp Fiction. You're either an Elvis man or you're a Beatles man. Who are you? Are you Beatles or are you Elvis?
I would have to say Elvis, because I never really was a Beatles fan until I learned the Beatles. Like, I always thought that they were just a fad that came over from England and made the girls' panties wet, and then they started rock and roll.
I can respect that too. And you're a motorcycle guy too, so that just screams Elvis.
Yeah.
I would have to say I'm more of a Beatles guy, just because Elvis. I didn't care too much when he went into gospel. I'm not a very religious guy. And it's just exactly. But rockin' Elvis, loved it. He's awesome. However, the Beatles, I have to say, I love everything about them, and the fact that they were only a band for 4 years and they had that kind of success is insane.
That right there is what has converted me to Beatlism.
But you just said you were an Elvis guy.
I grew up an Elvis guy. And
Okay.
I still am an Elvis guy. Elvis still holds a little high rank over the Beatles.
Well, he is the king.
Exactly. And Man, he died on the toilet eating a sandwich. Come on.
Right?
Bologna and
Like,
peanut butter,
God,
was
sweet
it?
Jesus, I shouldn't have had that peanut butter
Oh,
banana
no.
sandwich. Oh, I'm leaving the building.
Oh, Priscilla,
Sweet
help me
Jesus,
out.
take me now.
I don't
my
think he ever
best
said
Elvis.
sweet Jesus. But anyway, so the Beatles, I didn't truly realize until probably just a few years ago that the Beatles were only around for 4 years.
For 4 years.
And they have one of the largest catalogs out there of music that has been made.
Never stopped making music.
No, they were constantly on the move. And if you're not a Beatles fan, after looking into them, you have to become at least a fan of majority of them. Like, I've listened to some of their stuff and gone, really? How much LSD did you take before you did that?
A bunch, but I appreciate it, and it's great like that. And the Beatles, unlike Kansas, are one of those bands where you know every one of their songs.
Well, see, that's the thing is I don't.
Oh well, that's because you're, like you said,
well, there's
an
four
Elvis guy. So
and also you gotta look at it from a perspective of not being a Beatles fan, a non-Beatles fan.
Okay.
There are 4 members of the band.
Yes.
All 4 members sing.
Mm-hmm.
And on many different tracks.
Yes.
So you don't have one lead singer. You don't have one lead musician. The only thing you have is Ringo's drumming to stand by.
Yeah, half the time.
Yeah, and barely that, because that changes a lot as well. So if you listen to the Beatles on a different album, it's a different band.
Yeah.
And so that is confusing, kind of like Kansas and like a couple. I mean, Grateful Dead was one of those bands as well, where you don't know it's a Grateful Dead song. You don't know it's a Beatles song until you see it's a Beatles song. And in this day and age, everybody sees that because of all the digital music.
Then I guess it must just be me. I know all the Beatles songs and stuff most of the time. But anyway, it was a great time at the fair. Of course, we went and had all the greasy, fucked up food.
Did you have that triple cheeseburger again?
Yeah, dude, I had to. It's like it's religion to me, man. I got to go in there and get that thing. It's like,
Now I wish the fair was still here so that I could go and get one, because now I want another one.
Well,
and I have to wait
unfortunately,
another
this
year.
was the last weekend of the fair, and it was a pretty bitchin' weekend. However, the weekend fun is not over.
Really?
Yes, because this weekend is another one of my favorite events.
Oh, your
coming
nerdy nerd.
to the
Nerdiness
San
is
Diego
coming
Convention Center.
Oh, here it comes.
Coming to a convention center. The Nerd Alert! It's Comic-Con, motherfuckers. That's right. It's back. It's going to be here all week long. It kicks off tomorrow. However, there's probably going to be a preview night. Everybody's going to be downtown. They've already transformed everything. Have you seen some of the buildings they've done? Yeah.
Is that what you meant by transform?
Yes, exactly. That was pretty good, actually.
Thank you. I've been practicing since I was a kid.
So, yeah, like Comic-Con's in town. I'm probably going to be going down there myself. So if you're planning on going to Comic-Con, if you're listening, you're planning on going to Comic-Con, look for me. I'm going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'll be walking around out front.
So the Dusty Futon
The
might
Dusty
make a
Futon
so
is
you
going
just,
to Comic-Con.
You just revealed who's going to be under the Obi-Wan mask. Or not
he doesn't
mask,
wear a
but-
Mask.
Well, he
wears a
it low.
tunic. Oh, I do have a robe. Yeah, so
He has a robe.
Then again, it might not be easy to find me. There's going to be a bajillion and one Jedis out there, so it's going to be like where's Waldo?
Well, hold on. Are you old Obi-Wan or new Obi-Wan? Ewan McGregor or
I'm the Ewan McGregor one.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
so you'll know.
You're the young handsome one instead of the old
Hello
white-haired man.
Hey, he was handsome. He was good looking.
Didn't he pass away? 5 years ago or something? 4 or 5 years
Darth
ago?
Vader chopped him in half, dude.
That's right. That was
that
like
shit
30 years ago.
Real life, man.
Oh my god, that was like 40 years ago.
See, you need to remember that these are historical documents. A long time ago in
a galaxy far, far away. Okay, but you see, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
But not that kind of nerd. Like, I don't geek out. I don't
I'm a
geek
huge
out
Star
on
Wars
comics.
fan. I love Star Wars fan. I don't know if you can find a bigger one than me.
I would have to say that because you did the entire AFC division in a Star Wars thing.
I did. I made all the helmets and all the different teams in the AFC West. Like I had the Tuscan Raiders instead of the Oakland Raiders. It was the San Diego Chadra fans. Look it up. I'm telling you, these things are real alien races.
You're such a nerd.
I am a nerd. I love it. Well, there's so much things. Who else did I have? The Kansas City Queens with Amidala, of course, on there. And for the last one was the Denver Tauntauns. But there's not just a bunch of geeky shit going on down at Comic-Con. There's actually music.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, now you piqued my interest. Because honestly, I've never been to a Comic-Con.
Never.
And I've lived
here. Have you
here.
ever even been outside? Because
I've been outside. I step outside every morning.
Oh.
Do you live under a rock? No.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you even go there, you don't need tickets to really experience Comic-Con. If you just go to the doorstep, it's a freak show as it is. There's people walking around the streets in all sorts of costumes, characters, things you'd never dream that people could actually wear, and they do it. But it's gotten so big that it literally spills out into the streets. Like entire parking lots and hotels, they go all themed for a certain thing. Like
a guy like me, then,
yes,
because in my opinion, I'm a musician. I'm a nerd when it comes to like the knowledge behind being a musician and all that stuff, and computer and whatnot. So, tell me what's appealing for me as a musician, a nerd, to go out there and actually spend my time fighting these crowds.
Well, a great thing to do, if you really want to go out and experience some good music, the San Diego Symphony, every summer they put on this Summer Pop series, and they jump on with Comic-Con. They do the Embarcadero right behind the convention center, and last year they had, it was the music of video games, and it was the entire symphony, and they did Tetris and Super Mario Brothers,
oh my gosh,
Contra and Sonic Hedgehog, all the classics, and they're doing it again this year.
Now, are they just the orchestra, or are they bringing other musicians that are like...
It's the San Diego Symphony.
Wow.
And they have musicians of all types. No matter what you play, they do it, and they do it so well. And it's not just the symphony, but behind them they have these stunning graphics that they put on these screens that pertain to what they're playing. It's all choreographed. It's amazing. And this year, they're doing it's interesting. They're changing it up a little bit, and they're doing something that's appealing to both audiences. You got young and old, and somewhere in between.
Okay.
So the first one is going to be tomorrow night. Okay, it's July. It starts at 8 p.m. and it is the music of Pokemon, the Symphonic Evolution.
You know what? Okay.
I want to be the very best.
Oh my God!
No one ever was.
You know Pokemon songs. You know Pokemon songs.
I've never seen that show in my life.
Okay. Okay, so that's something musical. Okay, next.
So that's pretty good. That's good for the young crowd. But this one has actually intrigued me a little bit. Although, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, I appreciate Star Trek. And Saturday, the symphony's getting together, and they're actually doing the score to Star Trek Into Darkness.
That's
now,
the newer one.
They're doing the whole score, and it's live right there behind the convention center. So go out there.
Okay, now see that intrigues me because it's a newer type of music, and it is still, even though it's orchestral, it's still incredible.
Oh yeah, it's the way it's supposed to be heard.
Yeah, and if you've never visited, have you been to the Pop series before, right?
I actually went to the video games one last year.
Oh my! I wanted to go to that one, but the Pops, man, they do it right. It's an orchestra, but they bring like this.
They put some zazz.
Yeah, it's not. You'll never be bored at these Pop series. They're designed for musicians. They're designed for people to be able to actually enjoy them rather than having to be hoity-toity and dress up in a freaking tuxedo and go sit down and go, well, this evening we're going to be representing a...
Are you kidding? Dude, you're going to be sitting next to Wolverine and like... and a freaking Klingon or something,
And hopefully one of those busty...
anybody's.
Yeah. I don't care what you say that outfit is.
Yeah.
It's cool. You're good. It's hot.
Yep. So are you a Trekkie?
No, not really.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. I'm a really different kind of nerd. I'm not a geek, really. I'm not. I nerd out, not geek out. Like
not convinced.
Really? You don't see all my 1980s electronics around here that I've been holding on to forever?
I know, right? You probably got a stack of VHS tapes.
I do.
That you have a blanket over in the shape of a couch, and you just sit on it, in your room just to keep them there. 20 years in the future, after post-apocalyptic times have happened, the youth who have never seen civilization are going to come to you, and you're going to be called the librarian.
I'm a Mad Max movie in the waiting.
Exactly. He holds the historical records of the Star Wars when the Jedi returned. I'll be long dead.
And the meek shall inherit the earth. 2112. I had to pull it. That's a 2112 pull.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm not a bigger Rush fan as you.
No, you're not. No, you are not. You do not have 2112 tattooed on your arm like I do.
And nor will I ever.
Oh.
Unless they put me in a camp and that's my prisoner number. It's 2112.
And it'd be a Roman camp because mine's in Roman numerals.
That is. I was wondering what that was. So, you know what? Also, go to Comic-Con because Rush, for all we know, are going to play there.
That's right. They're like some of the biggest nerds ever.
Yes, and every year somebody has a secret show there. 2 or 3 years ago, Metallica put on a show at Spreckles Theater. They just out of the blue decided to go there, and they sold out, of course, in less than like 10/2 of a second.
Well, isn't one of the members of Metallica,
Kirk Hammett's going this year.
Yeah, he's like the huge nerd too.
Yeah.
Like all these
He's
musicians
a
that are
big-
like closeted nerds.
Dude, did you see that picture of him with all the action
Yeah.
figures?
Yeah.
He's just basically sitting in this pile, and you can almost not even see Kirk Hammett there. You're like, hey, look, there's a big Kirk Hammett. Wait a second.
That's actually him. But yeah, no, he's gonna be at Comic-Con this year.
He will be.
Oh my God,
He
it's
will be.
insane the crossover that Comic-Con has done with musicians.
Yeah.
Like it's truly, well, with everything. If you think about it, it started out as just a comic book convention.
Yep.
And it has turned into this global media empire.
Well, you know why? Because all the nerds learn how to play instruments at some point in their life. Their parents put them through, bassoon lessons or something like that, some obscure instrument. But they got good at it, and they're smart. They understand it. And so they're all musicians, and they all appreciate it. you know?
And they're not, they're just doing their thing. And this, you know what? And this Comic-Con convention that's what it's about. It's about being you. It's about having fun.
Yeah, it's not really about comics anymore. It's a convention of the popular arts, and that art includes music.
You're right.
So musicians are always there. In fact, be on the lookout for them because they're usually just amongst everybody. Jack Black is known, lead singer of Tenacious D, is known to be walking around in costume and never says anything to anybody. He even walked around in a Nacho Libre costume, and nobody knew. They thought he was just some fat guy walking around. It was him. It was Nacho Libre.
Oh, my gosh.
And he was there.
That's
so
Nacho Libre. That's my Libre. Oh, sorry.
You're terrible at jokes. Anyway.
That's the point. My jokes are very dry.
Yeah, I'm a comic relief, okay?
And I'm the smart, but I'm normally the smart one, but I have to defer to you because I was very adamant. I'll release a little bit of tidbit behind the scenes knowledge here. I was adamant about not really talking about Comic-Con too much because even though it starts tomorrow, I didn't really find a musical value to it. But you have proved me wrong, my friend.
Believe it or not, also, one of my favorite kinds of music are video games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love them.
Absolutely.
And then.
No, literally. I mean, if you go through the library of songs in my phone, you're going to find soundtracks to video games in there. Like, there's actually bands that are video game tributes. There's a band called the Black Mages, and they do Final Fantasy songs. If you're ever a big Final Fantasy fan, look into them. It's all heavy metal. They have their own renditions. It's not just verbatim, the music. They make it their own, but it's beautiful.
I have the soundtracks to all the God of War songs.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because I'm that's where I nerded out, was the God of War series.
See, you're in there.
I try to hide it. I try to hide it, but it comes out every now and then. And it's not as strong as yours.
Yeah.
But it's there every now and then. But the God of War series, when it first came out about a decade ago, actually it was like 12 years ago, I saw a special on the TV about it, where behind the scenes, before it ever came out, the mythology behind it, that they actually delved in and studied it, piqued my knowledge because I knew it was going to be fairly authentic.
Yeah.
And it was cool because it was a great story. They came up with this great character.
And it was gory as shit.
And it was gory, and it was fun, and it was like you're living back in ancient Greece in the mythological times, and it was so much fun.
And it's got a bitchin' soundtrack.
Yeah, so I got addicted to it, and every single God of War game I bought, pre-bought, before it came out, the most expensive version of it. I have upstairs, I have a Kratos sculpture.
What?
that came with God of War 2.
See, look, you're sitting here trying to convince me that you're not a nerd, and you've got a fucking action figure sitting in your room right now.
You know what's parked next to it? One of those little creepy guys from Men in Black.
Oh.
And it's a wobble thing. It like wobbles.
Dude, next you're going to tell me you got Kiss dolls.
No, but I got a samurai sword, one of those mini samurai swords.
So you belong at Comic-Con, dude.
You know what?
I'm
I
telling
guess
you,
I do.
you need to go. In
Maybe.
fact, be on the lookout for us down there. I'm going to be sporting.
You're going to be there as Obi-Wan.
Yes, I'm going in Obi-Wan. You know, look
So
out
what-
for Dusty Futon sign.
What
and,
should I be
oh, you're
if I
going to come
go?
down and be Chewbacca. You don't have a Wookiee costume, but you just kind of pull it off.
Hey, my hair's not that long. Okay, it is, but not the rest of it. But
Right? Yeah. Happy Life Day.
so the way you can find us
Mhm.
when you go down to Comic-Con is,
I'm going to be holding a sign.
what's it going to say?
Go to dustyfuton.com right now.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Or Facebook.
Or Facebook. Like us. Share us with your friends. Join us on Twitter.
We've been getting more followers lately, just randomly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dude,
I like to be followed. You can stalk me
in that
if you want
non-creepy
to.
way.
No, you can follow me in a creepy way. I'm okay with it. I really, truly am, because I can handle it. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because I'm smart enough, I'm good enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. My Stuart Smalley, I think Stuart Smalley, whatever, from Saturday Night Live. My little impersonation of that. Well, that was a pretty fun episode, actually. I think I laughed my ass off during that one, especially when Tyler starts to break down Comic-Con and his knowledge of Star Wars and the AFC division he created. Man, we just had a great time. Beatles versus Elvis and all that stuff. It was just a really, really good time back then. And you know what? Because I had such a good time with Tyler, I'm actually going to bring him back for Season 2 of the Dusty Futon remix. He is going to be a co-host with me as we review the awkward years, and that's going to start next week, right after this episode. That'll take us all the way through to the beginning of Season 6 on April 4th. So Tyler coming back, new co-host of Season 6. It's going to be an awesome time. So make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, any place you can find podcasts, or find us at YouTube. You can even track us on SoundCloud through Big John Entertainment's SoundCloud page. So right now we're going to get into the final episode of Season 1, the inaugural season for Dusty Futon. And in this episode, we actually almost foreshadow something that would actually happen after Season 2, is GFI reforming. And if you've been paying attention, GFI is the band that Tyler actually used to be a part of. And we had his old lead singer on one of the episodes, one of the earliest episodes, first musician we actually had on. So this episode, we talk a little bit more about GFI and Season 1, the final episode of the first inaugural season of the Dusty Futon. I'll see you guys on the other side of it. Here it is, Episode 16.
Well, it's dirty and it's brown, it's a little undown, like I just got it out of and lost and found. Trying to test it, germ infested, stained by food, partially digested. Nobody can say what you find between the dirty couch gushes that have never been cleaned. Missing keys or American cheese, trapped the said where the kiss will conceive. Pleasure to meet ya, we're happy to see ya in the Dusty Futon.
I used to think sawed-off shotguns were like SOD-OFF, and it was a brand name or something.
Sawed off, right?
That's how bad I was with guns. I didn't do any guns.
Yeah. Or it sounds like a Russian word. Sawed off.
Sawed-off gun.
Sawed-off shotgun.
This is the sawed-off shotgun. We make an American shotgun better with this sawed-off shotgun.
In Soviet Russia, shotgun shoot you.
Yeah.
Da.
Da. Da. Speaking of shooting, I did some shooting over the 4th of July weekend.
Really?
Yes.
Did you go out to the desert or to a range?
We went to, it's an open area like owned by the state of Arizona, so you can just go out and shoot. You just bring your own targets and whatnot.
Oh, you went to AZ.
Yeah, Arizona. That was over the holiday weekend.
I knew you went away. I didn't know where you went. But right on, I love Arizona. Anyway, range.
So my dad has this Kentucky long rifle, but it shoots the lead ball that you have to stuff with the powder and everything, right?
What? You load it up like with the wadding and the powder?
Oh, yeah.
You have to get it just right, don't you?
Yeah. Well, my dad has measures and everything. So,
Okay.
But that's the gun that won the Civil War.
Yeah.
Because it shoots
Fire that thing
yeah.
on the birthday of our nation?
Well, not only that, I'm a pretty good shot for never growing up with guns. I'm a pretty damn good shot. So I had my brother take one of those large 32-ounce Gatorade bottles and throw it up as like a target.
Pull.
Yeah, exactly. And I drew aim and I said pull, and he pulled, and I shot a hole dead center in the moving Gatorade bottle with the gun that won the Civil War.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty badass, dude. I got to put the picture up online. I'll put it on our website.
Please do.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a fun. And then this past weekend you were at Comic-Con.
That's correct. I did go outside. We actually have pictures up on the Facebook. You can go check that out.
I got to get some more.
Yes, I know. I did have a couple out there. I actually got a ton of pictures taken, but they were with other people and not with my camera.
Aw.
And idiot me, I didn't get them to forward them to me or anything. So
hey, no worries about that. But you know what's great about that? We actually got some more likes and a few more listeners due to your stunt down there.
We blew up, man. That was our biggest post yet.
I love it.
You know what else?
I love it.
I went on Thursday. The first day of opening day of Comic-Con. I should have went on Friday. You know why?
Why didn't you go on Friday?
Well, we had discussed the San Diego Symphony was doing the Summer Pop series.
Yeah.
And I noted that there was a show where they did Pokemon music on Thursday and Star Trek on Saturday. Well, I thought, why are they skipping Friday? They usually cover all 4 days. You know why? Friday, during the Star Wars panel, they dropped it on them. They said, everybody who's here is going to come with us out back, and we're going to have a big Star Wars concert with an orchestra and everything. And I didn't get to go.
What was it, moving day?
Well, yeah, it was moving day.
Oh.
I'm a homeowner now, so I kind of took... that was a bigger priority for me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That makes sense because Comic-Con is pretty awesome. It truly is. But buying your first home.
Undescribable.
Yeah.
Indescribable.
Close enough. I'll give you that one. See,
all right. Yeah. No, I just bought a home, so I'm living the American dream. Come back to America.
I got to tell you, I bought a condo in 2006, and the moment that, and I bought it for me. Like, you're married, so it's different when you're buying it as your family. But I bought it for me, so it was like I'm thinking this is the party pad. This is gonna be a badass place. Then I go and get married. But that feeling when you get those keys and you walk in there and it's all shiny and new looking and it's set for you, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you, bro.
I have to admit, when we walked in there, it wasn't shiny, although some of it was new.
Okay.
And you're right, though. When you walk in there and it's completely silent and you're in there by yourself with all the doors locked, it's this feeling that you can't replace anywhere. You can't emulate that. It's just it's your home. This is my piece of dirt. This is my house on that piece of dirt. I could fucking kill you if you come in here.
All right, that's a little extreme.
I'm just kidding. I know it's a little dark, but it's great. Like my mom, she's come over a bunch of times to help us out with a few things, and she's kind of hinted that, I want to come over here and plant trees and grow fruit and come over and pick them all the time, and it's like.
So basically, she wants you to grow a garden for her.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
But it's awesome because.
So tell me about the garage.
Oh, well,
you have.
I have one.
Yes. You have a garage.
I have a garage.
And now you not only do you have a garage, you got a new job where you're Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah, I got a desk job. I cut my hair and got a real one.
The question remains, we talked about this a few episodes ago. Yeah. Are you going to get back into playing?
Are you talking about music?
Well, this is a musician's podcast.
Do you remember episode 3?
I do.
When our good friend Nick Razor stopped in the studio.
I do.
I saw him yesterday.
Uh-oh.
He came by my house because, believe it or not, I live right across the freeway from him now, where we used to practice in our band. And right over the hill from there is the drummer, Kurt Buskey, a.k.a. Peep the Sailor, aforementioned on the Dusty Futon.
Oh, yes.
He lives right there, too. So, if A plus B equals C...
Then
that should
D
be
squared.
A plus B plus C equals GFI.
It's 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1.
Exactly.
Not
all we
1
need
plus
is
2 plus 1 plus 1.
All we need is a bass player.
Now, well, we met a bunch of them a couple weeks ago.
Yes, that's true. Now, here's the thing. I just moved into my new house, and I go talk to my neighbors. And right next door to me is this couple. They've got a couple of kids with them and stuff, and we're just talking about a few things. And his wife mentions that, my husband was in a band, too. I'm like, really? What does he play? And she goes, he played the bass.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like too perfect for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so we may be getting some exclusive information that either a GFI is reforming or that a new band starring our very own TJ from the Dusty Futon.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Well, we definitely have to keep following up on this because that is intriguing because you. First of all, we know you've been with GFI, and while you're
8 years
in GFI, you toured, and we talked a little bit about touring. So now that you're married and that you have a home and you have responsibilities
and a garage,
we're going to want to track this new developing and see if touring is going to be an option. What do you think?
Well,
let's fast forward a little bit and take a look at about 2 years from now. The summer of 2017, Tyler and his minions, let's call it that instead of GFI. So you're going to be in this band, and you're going to be well-formed. You're going to have new music and have maybe some old music from the old GFI, and you tie it all
the
together.
Old stuff is the best.
Will your wife let you tour?
My wife actually liked my shows, some of them. But no, she wants me to play again. I mean, I still retain all my guitars. She didn't make me sell them, to help us move or anything. I love them. They're my babies. And she encourages it now. I mean, right now, just because we have a home, she's totally off my back. That was the biggest thing. She just wanted to get a house.
And then the second big thing is to get a fucking real job.
A real job. Good God.
So you got that nailed.
Yeah.
So now she's off your back. Now you're good to go.
Yeah.
Now see, guys, that is what you need to learn to fucking do. When your woman tells you what she wants, you give it to her. Then she gives you what you want.
Yep. Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. All right. So with that, I'm actually looking forward to this because not only do I want to see you play again because you play the riff in the open.
Oh, you'll have the best time at the shows. They are the best. We're the only ones known to have a rolly chair mosh pit at certain locations.
Oh, wow. The imagery going through my head on that. Are you standing on them, on your knees, sitting down?
I'm on the stage playing the guitar.
That's
not
what
you,
I do. But the moshers.
But the mosh pit. No, they are sitting down, and people are standing, and they're throwing them around, rolling into people. It was absolute mayhem.
That sounds like military office shenanigans to me. That was back in the day on the ships we would do that. But we wouldn't have people standing up. We would just lift our feet when the ship would roll.
Yeah, you don't need it. You got the ocean, the motion of the ocean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool, man. I'm looking forward to that, and definitely we got to get Nick on then here pretty soon. Once you guys kind of see a direction, we'll get Nick back on, and and talk to him about this as well because that's.
But you were talking about touring.
Yes.
As far as we
and
probably won't be not touring. We will be playing shows. We'll let you guys know with enough notice when we do have them.
Of course.
But pretty low key. But that way, what we can also do is we're probably going to try and get on bigger bills with bigger bands and make it phenomenal.
I like the idea of that.
Our song content alone is going to make you laugh. We literally sing about anything and everything. However, Nick,
I have lyrics, and I want a GFI song to be written by me because I have lyrics for 2 songs that I have to share with you guys when you finally form up.
Oh, dude, absolutely. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
Submit them, and we'll see if we can make that into Big John's song.
I like that idea.
But
Submitting.
We have songs. I mean, some of them, of course, it's punk rock, so it's political. So we have songs called Anarchy and War and things. But then Nick also had kind of a sick sexual twist he wanted to throw into the band just because of the shock value. It always made people uncomfortable, especially the really snooty bitches out there that are just like, oh my God, did he just say vagina?
Oh my God, is he talking about like anal sex?
It's definitely rated R stuff. You probably don't want to bring your kids to the show if it happens to be all ages.
Well, our podcast is explicit.
Yeah.
It specifically says
it truly is.
So
we
if
also
you're
have
listening to us and you have kids, you don't let them listen to us.
Yeah, I was handing out flyers at Comic-Con actually, to listen to the Dusty Futon. I was hustling that shit.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sitting there holding them out, and like these kids want them because they just know that people are giving out free stuff all over the time. And I was like, no, you can't. I had to be selective with my audience.
That sucks.
I know. Anyway, song content.
Yes.
We also have songs talking about the dark sexual side of humanity. We have songs called
Healing.
Exactly. To some maybe.
Oh yeah.
We have a song called Autoerotic Asphyxiation.
Oh, I've heard of that. That's a
David Carradine.
Yeah, that's a condition, and I've been diagnosed with it before.
Wait, okay, so before you say that, autoerotic asphyxiation, for those who don't know, is basically the art of choking yourself while you masturbate so that you heighten the euphoria during your climax as you lose oxygen to your brain.
And some idiots decide to use belts and forget that, belts can actually lock themselves.
Yes, there's a
stuck.
couple famous people that you would know by the names of David Carradine and what's the guy from INXS?
I don't remember his name.
That guy, the singer. Anyway, he's dead, naked, with a belt around his neck.
In a closet, no doubt.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't be stupid, kids. Learn to be less ignorant by studying.
But we also sing songs about beer. It's one of our favorites by the crowd. And also Cheetos/Nachos. It's a 2-part song with crowd participation.
I like that. Is that like a tequila song where tequila, but you go, Cheetos?
Pretty much.
Cool.
No, but we did actually played tequila in the middle of our set. We would jump into that and then transition right into our song called La Migra because it
And let me guess, after the La Migra, you go, La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha.
No, we didn't go that.
We
didn't do that. But we used to end our shows with the Mario Brothers song also. Yes.
All right, anyway. So that's cool. So you're not necessarily looking to tour, but you guys are going to be playing. So that's going to be
we're going to be out there. We're going to play
that.
some shows. We'll let you know where it is.
I like that. Yeah. I really like that. So we're going to be able to have all that information out on the dustyfuton.com.
Yes, and on Facebook. So, yeah, when we have more information about the shows, we're definitely going to post it up on the website, dustyfuton.com.
Of course, and we're pretty sure we're going to start opening the blog up now and actually start blogging about
shows.
So we'll have your shows.
Absolutely.
And we'll have shows of other guests who have been on the Dusty Futon will be posted up there.
Correct.
And then you can also follow us on Facebook at the Dusty Futon.
That's right. And we're also on Twitter at Dusty Futon.
And we live tweet on Wednesdays.
Right. Wednesdays, 4 o'clock p.m.
Exactly. And next week we're going to have, what's that guy's name?
Lenny?
Lenny, yes. Lenny Bly.
Lenny Bly.
I looked up some of his music. He was a recommendation from John from the
Wastaways.
The Wastaways, yeah. So John from the Wastaways gave me a
know
call.
Ugly Lenny. I've met him when I used to play in GFI. He was actually with, I believe was he with Inciting Riots as well?
Yes, he is in Inciting Riots. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about because I believe they're coming up on a few shows. So we're going to have him on next week to talk about Inciting Riots and a little bit info on that. So
and don't forget to hit us up, submit at dustyfuton.com.
Yes. So if you want to contact us, that's how you do it. Submit at dustyfuton.com.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
You going to do it?
I'm going to do it.
Do it.
I guess we decided to end the season the way we end every episode by just trailing off. No, hey, this is the last episode of the season or anything crazy like that. I guess because it really doesn't matter when you're dealing with musicians and music and whatnot, because the idea of these episodes is for them to just be around as long as we can let them be around, as long as the musician wants to be around, and it'll be available for them and their fans. So that's the idea with what the Dusty Futon is moving forward. So I guess not actually closing it off might be a good idea. So as you could tell, we teased GFI getting back together, talked about my shooting prowess, and I learned about a roller chair mosh pit, which maybe we have to put some of those in later down the road. Who knows? But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to another episode of the Dusty Futon Remix. This is the last one for Season 1, and next week we will be launching Season 2 Dusty Futon Remix, which will include special co-host guests, including the original co-host from Season 1 and Season 2, Tyler. He is back with us with some interesting news. Once again, thanks for tuning into this Big John Entertainment production, The Dusty Futon. You can find us at dustyfuton.com. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn. You can also find us on YouTube. And we upload stuff to Big John Entertainment's SoundCloud page as well as the Dusty Futon SoundCloud page. So go check all that out, and make sure if you know any musicians who want their own episode, we're getting ready for Season 6, which will debut April 4th of this year. Make sure and have those musicians contact us at admin@dustyfuton.com. Thank you again to Backstage 360 for their participation in making sure this episode happened. See you guys next week for episode 1 of Season 2 Dusty Futon Remix.